Hey everybody, I'm just going to try to attempt to reinstall the carburetor on Pearl today. I ordered a carburetor rebuild kit from Chevs of the 40s. There's the website and the logo and all that stuff. And just awesome company to work with online. They ship stuff real quick and prices aren't that bad. When I received the rebuild kit in the mail, there was a lot of little tiny parts and pieces and all that kind of stuff that I didn't know what went where. I've never rebuilt a carburetor myself, and it was kind of intimidating, to be honest with you. And so I asked around to some people that were more mechanically inclined than I am, and they all said, "Oh, it's real simple. It's easy. You can do it." And I just didn't feel comfortable tearing the old carburetor apart, knowing me and not being able to figure out how to put it back together correctly. And I just didn't want to cause more trouble for myself. So I asked a friend of mine, Phil Quick, who actually helped my granddad build this car way back in the 80s when my pap first got this car. So Phil knows this car inside and out. He's probably worked on every nut and bolt on this car. So he's very familiar with it, and he's excellent mechanic. So he graciously offered to rebuild the carburetor for me, which he did very quickly. And he actually painted it up and got it all nice and clean and shiny and new looking. So this is the carburetor that's going, the original carburetor come off the car. Now it's rebuilt and ready to go back on. This is a Carter W1 single barrel carburetor, and very common on these 6-cylinder straight six engines on old Chevys and of this year. So parts are pretty easy to find, especially with websites like Chevs of the 40s. So this is all back together, and I'm just going to mount it back on the car. Now, while I was removing this, I noticed that and I'm not sure what it's called, the collar or the base, where the carburetor or the fuel make it happener, as Derek would say on Vice Grip Garage, where that mounts to the intake manifold. There's a spacer in there. It's called a carburetor base or collar or something, whatever. And when I unbolted everything, I noticed that this had a crack in it. So this end piece was cracked and broken off right there. And apparently my granddad or somebody had noticed that at one time, because it had some adhesive sealant here and underneath here that was all deteriorated and falling apart. So somebody had tried to fix this at one time, but I didn't want to try to make this work again because it's just rough. It's made out of Bakelite, which is one of the first versions of plastic way back in the 40s and 50s, Bakelite. And so it's very brittle. And I just didn't want to try to reuse this. So I thought, I'm never going to find a replacement piece like that. But I got online, Chevs of the 40s, and got a brand new one, which looks just like this. Like $10. Not bad at all. And then it comes with a little gasket. It goes along with it as well. And so I'm going to reinstall brand new base and then brand new rebuilt carburetor. Now, I could have ordered an entire rebuilt carburetor from Chevs of the 40s. That would have been over $200, almost $300 with shipping. There's a core charge. Sending the old carburetor, they send me a newly rebuilt one. I didn't want to spend that much money, and I bought just a carburetor rebuild kit with all the bits and pieces, the springs and gaskets and washers and all that kind of stuff that goes in there for like $80. So can't beat that. And so, yeah, let's reinstall this on Pearl.